As I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then storming winds go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an interesting couple of days. I have apparently Snorpernell was public enemy number 1. For a brief amount of time, I was public enemy number 2. And now, apparently a legal case is being brought up, or it's in development, I should say, possibly, into bringing charges against Snorpernell, Almighty Tevin, and Secret Life of DSP. I know, right? So what? Yeah, exactly. If you guys don't know, this all stems from the leaks currently that came out a couple days ago, exposing that Phil was trying to have channels mass flagged as well as videos. I will cover that in a whole nother video. If you guys have seen Almighty Tevin's video on most of this, then you have a better idea of what's going on. I'll do a video on it later. And I will also do another video talking about why certain people got targeted, and I'll try to explain why. So look out for those 2, probably 3 videos. But right now, we're over here with Theo. And Theo actually was the one who has recently broken the story, I would assume, because this is my first time hearing about it, about the about this legal case that's trying to be brought up on the King of Hate forums. So we're going to go over there, so we're going to go over here, listen to what Theo has to say, actually go over some of the posts, and I'll give you guys my comments, I guess, as they pop up. Should be interesting, I hope. This is the first time that Theo has been presented on this network, so that's exciting. And we'll go from there and we'll see what will happen. I'll leave the link to Theo's video in my description, as I do with all of my sources, so you can go over there and check it out for yourself. Oh, this should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. They always go after the innocent newsman. What did I do? All I do is report the news. I don't make the news. Well, at least up to a recent anyway. That's interesting.
Okay, so as I am rendering a video, I am in another room, guys. This is a whole new room. I'm still trying to figure out a name for this room. So if you want to come up with a name, feel free to post a comment in the comment section below, give me suggestions what to call this room. But well, I guess I could say it's the Detractor bedroom, where the Detractors go to sleep. This is where I sleep. You get fully rested, get the full night's sleep, I guess, because there is a bed right here. But anyways, let's take a look at this, because I saw this and I said might as well make this a mini video, because this is something. So if you don't like forum reading, this is not a video for you. So let's get started. This is called Building a Case Against the Trolls, because, you know, clearly we need to really gotta stop them, guys. So let's read what Sam Bam has to say. I made this account. I think it's the easiest way to get a hold of Darkside Phil. Sorry if this is posted in the wrong area of the forums. I have been a fan for a long time on YouTube. I would like him to know that I am working with my brother, who is an attorney. I am helping my brother build a case for Phil against the trolls. Okay. This whole thing, like, we're building a case against the trolls.
Now, to be honest with you, it sounds like Sam Bam, it sounds like it's a troll. It's a brand new account on the King of Hate forums, And I would assume his Gmail, which is sambamanime@gmail.com, is probably brand spanking new too. It's probably just a troll, but you know, I don't know. Phil's fan base has done some rather amazing things. So, what are you gonna do?
It's kind of already been done. DSP has said multiple times that what the trolls do is slander and illegal, and etc. So he already has a case against them. But the thing is that the reason why he's not going to do anything with it is that he needs money to go to court. And there's also a lot of people who detract on Phil. The thing is that even if he had the money, there would be no case. You can build an argument. You could say, oh yeah, see, this is slander, but it's not going to go far. Other than, well, they have every right to use the platform of YouTube as they please. He could probably go to court against people who did copyright strikes. That could be something, I guess. But even then, that's okay.
Now, that's possible too. I guess he probably could take them to court for that, but I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that situation. And most of those people are gone anyway. So you're essentially chasing ghosts at that point, in my opinion. But who could say? As it pertains to Phil taking legal action, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be very, very honest. If Sam Bam here was able to raise the money to get a lawyer, let's say Sam Bam was able to raise $10,000. That's a reference of something. You guys been around long enough, you know what that is. Let's say he was able to raise $10,000. 10K, 10 stacks, 10 racks. Phil would rather have the money. He really would. I guarantee you, if Phil kept his eye on the progress of the money that's being raised, and he saw it reaches past 2,000, Phil's just going to be like, I want the money. At the end of the whole fundraiser, which is something that he doesn't say much anymore, if it reached like $10,000, Phil would just ask for the money. He would, because Phil's going to say, and I guarantee you he would, I could use that money to help pay off my taxes, to help me, pay towards the house, so on and so forth. Phil knows himself he doesn't have a case. Phil already knows that. He knows he doesn't have a case. But Phil has tried to use that to milk situations too. So what Phil will do is ask for the money. If the person's dumb enough and they give it to him, that money's going to be gone. It's going to just disappear into the night. And then Phil will come back a couple months later and be like, hey guys, I these guys are really starting to get at me, and they're starting to bring me down mentally, and I'm not performing well, not only on my video games but with Cat. I'm not feeling like myself. Snort. So, maybe I should take legal action. Maybe I should go about doing something like that. And then he'll just flip that into a whole nother scheme. He'll flip it into a whole nother way to give you money. Or for you guys to give him money, I should say. That's what Phil would do with it. I guarantee you, if it made $10,000, Phil's going to want the cash. He's going to want the cash because he knows he doesn't have a case. You know what I'm saying? Phil spends all of his time convincing the fan base to hate the detractors and not listen to him, while Phil himself is trying to figure out ways to scheme and how to rip off his own fan base because he feels like they owe him. And they don't. But that's neither here nor there. DSP News.
I am helping my brother build a case against Phil against the trolls. We will obviously be forwarding all of the information to Phil, and my brother is willing to discuss the information with Phil. He also knows Phil is trapped for cash at the moment and can also help him find a lawyer that will do it for cheap, possibly free. Okay. Yeah, because obviously there are lawyers that would want to go through the process of going to court and all that stuff for free. Clearly that's what they would want to do. What lawyer on this planet would do a case for free?
Now, let me step in there for a minute, Theo. There has been some lawyers that have done cases for free. Not like this. Not like this at all. Like, this is petty. This is petty. But there have been lawyers in particular situations who have done cases for free. That there is an actual pretty long history of doing stuff like that. And the reason why most of you are like, well, GTG, what are they going to get out of it? Publicity. To be honest with you, a lot of it came down to publicity. A lot of it came down to the fact that the individuals in question were in a really, really bad spot. You know what I mean? Whether it was, well, for example, the best example I can give you is like the civil rights situations, especially back in the day, back in like the 60s and whatnot, in the 70s. You had a lot of lawyers who came through and helped get people out of jail and help defend them and so on and so forth. Victims of, for example, oh my God, an example, when there was a major bank in Sweden that was accused of holding on to Jewish money from Jewish money of the survivors of the Holocaust. And it's a large story in itself, and it goes conflicted in a couple ways. So I'm just gonna try to give you guys a small bit of it. The original lawyer who was supposed to be trying for the case ended up winning. He didn't get the whole amount that these survivors had coming to them, but he secured a good amount of money, and then he ran off with it, and so on and so forth. So a bunch of other lawyers stepped in to basically further the case against a couple of the Swedish banks to try to get secure the funds. Now, like I said, it's been a long time since I've read that case, because I thought it was kind of crazy that something like that would happen, but I'm not going to get into it any further than that. But it was alleged that the actual lawyer who was trying to prosecute the case essentially against the banks was actually working with the banks the whole time. That's one allegation. Another allegation was that they were trying to say that some of the survivors couldn't prove who they were. Here, let me give you just a little bit of backstory. I'm sorry, I probably should have done that. I don't want to get too much into that because it gets ugly. Essentially, what happened is survivors of the Holocaust, whether the actual members of the family themselves, meaning the mother and fathers who had bank accounts in Sweden, or their children who were fortunate enough to survive, when they finally made it out of the concentration camps or under Nazi rule or occupation, they ended up they had the bank accounts for their family's funds, and they went to try to collect. And in Sweden, because of how the banking system over there worked, especially during those circumstances, they were like, you need to provide us a death certificate. It doesn't matter that you have the same name and you have the account number. We need a death certificate. The banks made them go through all kinds of roles and run through all kinds of different hoops to make stuff happen. And the problem is that when the Nazis did what they were doing, they didn't issue death certificates, obviously. Granted, there are plenty of receipts, so to speak. IBM, which is the company that worked with them and whatnot to help print out and keep track of all that stuff, they certainly left a lot of receipts, but no death certificates. And if there were, most of them were destroyed. So that kind of killed the case as it pertains to a lot of these Jewish survivors getting securing funds. Like I said, it gets ugly. It gets really, really ugly and whatnot. I'm sure that maybe Argent, I would think Argent might have followed that or at least heard of it in some way, shape, or form. So if you guys ever want to, you guys can probably ask him about that. But it was an ugly case. But anyway, a bunch of after the original lawyer dipped with the cash, some other lawyers stepped in for free to try to secure the funds. So I'm just saying, it's. I understand what Theo's trying to say, but it's not uncommon, for a lawyer to pick up a case for free. Not something like this though. This is frivolous. This is a waste of time. You're not going to get anywhere with this. And 15, 20 minutes, any lawyer is going to look at this and be like, nah, there's nothing here. It's the internet. They're allowed to have an opinion of you. And then all the lawyer needs to do is look at Phil's channel. Look at how Phil's conducted himself. He's hung himself. So there you go. But I get what Theo's trying to say.
Okay. My brother believes this is an open and shut case. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's an open and shut case. Okay. Most of the case is being built against the following accounts. Snort Brunel. Okay. Tevin. Yeah, because obviously what Tevin does is against the law, right? Okay. The Secret Life of DSP. Okay. Why is everyone going after this guy? This guy is like done making DSP videos. And they're like, oh, Secret Life of DSP, we gotta get him. Okay, and El Presidor, why? Like these people, I don't understand why they have such a hate. But I mean, the thing is, I can kinda maybe see with Snort Brunel, since he's just he uploads directly what DSP says. But at the same time, Snort Brunel does kind of put their own spin on it in a
Yeah, it's transformative.
way. Like they kind of have the cool like intros. They have like little editing effects. I mean, he does a little bit to it. Tevin is just literally commentating over a video, like I'm doing. Like that's not really against the law, because it is fair use. It's transformative work, in the sense that, he's adding his commentary to the video and he's pausing, whatever. It's not like he's just uploading the raw footage from Dspgaming onto his channel. It's not the same. Secret Life of DSP edits the videos. Okay. El Presidor, what's he doing? He literally is just making a video talk. He does more original work than anyone else, because he just goes in front of the camera and just talks. That's a vlog. Anyone can do a vlog. People do it.
And another thing is too, right? And I've said this before in my El Presidor video. El Prez has done this to a bunch of people, and none of them have ever talked about taking legal action. So I want you to think about that. There are, quote unquote, countless victims of the master puppeteer, and not one of them have ever thought about flagging his video down, nor have they ever thought about taking legal action against them. But Phil's community decides to do that. You see how the mindset works? You see how the brainwashing is over there? And I'm going to do another video talking about it, but because I used to look at the fans, and I still do, as victims. Because some of Phil's fans are victims. But to be honest with you, Phil was just always a very terrible individual, I think, in some way, shape, or form. He just needed to have the platform to do it. But it's the type of people that he attracts to him. You're seeing it. You know what I mean? Either they're extremely malicious, or they're delusional, or they're a combination of both, or they're just downright silly. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, then you have the people who actually have some common sense, and they try to bridge it, but they can't. You know what I mean? And as this video goes on, you're going to start to see what other fans have to say about Sam Bam, which should sound familiar to you as it pertains to another group that had left us. You'll hear it.
That with Trump, people do that with Hillary Clinton, people do that with a lot of things. So if we're gonna go after people who do videos like with El Presidor that does videos on, like, let's say DSP, then you might as well go after every single person that does every single thing. Like that's a thing, and I kind of have a feeling this guy is just trolling at this point, because there's no way that he talks about a free lawyer. Okay. Mara will probably...
But not just that. Excuse me. Not just that. But think about all the opinions Phil had about other people. Think about how Phil had all those opinions about those different writers, for those different gaming writers and so on and so forth, that he would punch in the mouth, or someone needs to choke out, or so on and so forth. Remember when Phil said all these things? That right there is considered threats. But none of them ever tried to sue Phil. None of them ever tried to, take down his videos or his channel. So, and like I said, they've threatened physical violence on Phil. I don't know any detractors that have done that. So, yet again, when you're trying to build this case, when they go back to Phil's channel, and trust me, they're going to hire people to take an extensive look at it if it even made it that far. They're going to look and be like, well, he's threatened violence on people too. Or he's actually threatened violence on people. So then you're going to have to figure out a way to explain that off. And that's going to be hard. That's going to be very, very hard to do. So keep that in mind before you start going after Snorpinel and El Presidor, Secret Life, an Almighty Tevin, that what they did and then what Phil has done is even worse. And Phil's not going to delete any of those videos. More importantly than that, there is somebody who's probably listening to this video right now who has that in a folder somewhere on a hard drive somewhere. And when this pops up, they'll prop up. It always happens. It always happens. It's funny how, for example, with this 11-year-old girl that Phil threatened to bitch smack, that situation happens, and then all of a sudden, all these DMs pop up. It's curious, isn't it? Just saying. We'll talk about that in another video, though. DSP News. Well, on another broadcast. Try to sound professional.
Probably be added as time goes on. Okay. It's time these punks get served for the problems they have caused Phil. What have we done? What has these videos done to Phil? Nothing. The only one that's causing Phil to be in this financial issue is him. Because if he did not treat his viewers like shit, if he did not, or whatever, he would not be in the situation he's in. If he did basic research on fucking Washington state tax laws, basic search that I've done in 1 second on a video, you could go on this channel, you would have seen that they had state and business occupation tax. And he should have done some basic research. But no, that's our fault, guys. Okay.
Now let me step in there for a second. I think what it was is Phil knew that he was going to have to do that business tax. What I think Phil was doing and what Phil was hoping was he was going to skim by. He was going to fall into this like gray area where he's not actually considered a business, and he was just going to slide right through. I think that's what the initial situation was. I don't think Phil was ignorant to the situation. I think he was just pissed off that he got caught. I remember what he said. He said he had that sickening feeling in his stomach, and he said it only happened twice to him. What was the first time? Oh, when he found out that his ad revenue was going to drop, and then the second time was when he found out about these back taxes. It's funny how it all relates to money. It's funny how it all relates to greed. It's funny how, in both cases, arguably, it was his own fault. I think Phil knew what he was doing. I think he tried to play the system, and I think he got caught. I firmly think that. It's easy to keep blaming this faceless tax attorney in Connecticut. It's funny how he's able to do that. It's funny how when Machinima screwed him over, he was reading emails. When he felt that John Rambo did him wrong, he was reading text messages. It's funny how with Spawn Seats, he had a problem. He was reading emails. It's funny how he hasn't read any emails from this guy yet, though. From this tax attorney that screwed him over. It's funny how he hasn't put none of that up on screen yet. Isn't that curious? Isn't that hilarious? I think Phil knew what he was doing. I think he just got caught. Just my opinion, though.
The financial and emotional stress they have caused from swatting, scaring away sponsors, and editing Phil's videos to make him look bad has basically screwed them. Okay. Let's get into this. We're talking a little bit about the financial stuff. What is that noise? Okay, but we talked about a little bit of the financial. We don't really need to go into that again, but emotional stress. Dude, everyone has emotional stress. Everyone. Dude. DSP has like the most basic fucking emotional stress ever. Oh man, people say mean things to me on the internet. Imagine being a doctor and thinking to yourself, oh man, I could kill a patient. And I could be trying, or whatever. Like, everyone else has stress. Everyone is stressed.
The doctor example was actually a good example. But I'll go even further. He as a doctor, as a neurosurgeon, as a heart surgeon, every time you step into the room and you glove up, you could accidentally kill this person if you're not careful, or if you guys didn't do enough of an evaluation before you put the patient on the table. Think about a dentist. I think a dentist could hit the wrong nerve, cause massive blood loss. They can't stop it. Think about a lawyer. We were talking about that earlier. You think you have this case in the bag and whatnot. You go into that courtroom, you mess up even slightly, or you come across a bit overconfident and whatnot, now you have this person here that should have gotten off with, I don't know, a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5, and next thing you know, they serve 25. They serve 25 years. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there who have real stress. Imagine if you're a cop. Every time you you know what I'm saying, you put the vest on, you put the badge on, so on and so forth, you're a target. You know what I mean? There are people out there who have real stress. Not some overweight idiot who sits on his fucking couch with gout, who's complaining about his hand for 2 hours playing a video game when you have people in the actual computer field who are on their mouses for 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, and they don't complain. I mean, they will eventually, because carpal tunnel is going to hit them eventually. You know what I mean? There are people out there with real problems. Phil doesn't have problems. And if he does, well, he does have problems, but they're all of his own making. He did it himself. DSP News.
So you're telling me that people should just sue people for being stressed? Dude, this is the most pussy...
People have tried, believe it or not. People have tried.
Not bully, whoopsie, pussy nonsense. That is fucking petty ass shit. You know? We have so many nonsense lawsuits as it is. So many nonsense lawsuits. I've seen some of these nonsense lawsuits before. And this guy wants to make a case on emotional stress. Okay, Sam Bam, okay, I'm sure you're being super serial with this. And they talk about swatting and scaring away sponsors. The sponsors got scared away on their own. And the second sponsor... oh my god, the second sponsor is just ridiculous. He's like, oh, I could hate all the negativity, Phil. Don't worry. Oh man, they found out that I have a website. Uh-oh. Like, really? This guy runs a business to sell chairs and other shit. And the moment that Detractors like, oh, look, it's this guy, he's like, oh, I gotta run, I gotta cut and run. Like, yeah, that's our fault. Clearly. Finding basic information. Basic information. We did, like, no one, like, the information I saw when he got the second sponsor was basic information that anyone would have found because it's basic. It wasn't anything that was too personal. Like, you can make the case that we found more personal shit on Cat than that chair sponsor. Just think about that. And Cat stuff is not even that bad to begin with. But, okay.
Let me jump in as it pertains to that. So, about Cat, I don't know what Theo's seen on Cat. I know what I've seen on Cat, and it's just, if it's legit, it's, well, we'll leave that for a whole nother time, I suppose. But as it pertains to the chair sponsor, the second guy, he was that was some interesting shit in itself, because we found out what their base business was, which was TV repair. We found all the Instagram pictures of them with the cars and shit. We found all the extra channels and so on and so forth. I don't know what exactly that guy was trying to do, or what it was, or what was it that he was afraid of getting exposed, but he was certainly afraid of getting exposed. I don't know what he's doing that would, make him feel a certain type of way to cut and run like that. But it's obvious that he didn't want people to dig too deep into what he was doing. And that's why he got out when he did. Smart move on his part, to be honest. I mean, it is what it was. I think he underestimated the situation. So that doesn't make him a fan, though. Because a fan would know better. A real DSP fan would know, what the situation is. He obviously didn't. And that's why it ended up hurting him. But that's just my own personal opinion as it pertains to that, though. So, you know what it is. DSP News.
And editing Phil's videos to make him look bad. He does that on his own. If he did not make himself look bad, then there'd be no videos. And if you say, like, oh, well, this is how you don't play, but, like, those are just gameplay videos. Like, you could do that with anyone. Like, if I uploaded gameplay videos on YouTube, people could do that to me. The only difference is that I'd probably be like, oh, this is, if it's just...
Sorry about that, guys. That's the editor calling. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
And if you say, like, oh, well, this is how you don't play, but, like, those are just gameplay videos. Like, you could do that with anyone. Like, if I uploaded gameplay videos
Actually, hold on a second. I feel like I might have
Those
skipped something.
videos to make him look bad. He does that on his own. If he did not make himself look bad, then there'd be no videos. And you're gonna say, like, oh, well, this is how you don't play, but like those are just gameplay videos. Like you could you could do that with anyone. Like if I uploaded gameplay videos on YouTube, people could do that to me. The only difference is that I'd probably be like, oh, this is, if it's generally funny, I'd laugh and probably share the video. But if it's like that's the thing that I don't really quite get when people talk about Detractor, this is how you don't play videos, because they're not that malicious. There might be some that might be, but the ones that I've seen, the ones that I like, just talk about the gameplay. They just shows gameplay. They don't go into his like personal nonsense. But okay. And even then, the videos that make him look bad doesn't really screw him, because DSP did that on his own. So what hater went to Dspgaming, hacked his channel, uploaded the video of where he insults a 11-year-old girl on VR chat? Oh no, DSP uploaded that himself. Like, come on. Anyone could have gone to that video and come to the conclusion that this guy is a fucking bully and this guy's toxic. Like, you don't really need to look far. You don't even need to go to a Detractor channel to realize DSP is a toxic individual. You don't need to. He has on his own fucking channels.
That's true, but most people still come out and defend him. And I feel like the majority of people who go to Detractor channels aren't even DSP fans. They're people who are like, he's a shitty Let's Player. Why are you guys picking on him? And they don't know the lore that goes behind that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what the misconception is, in my opinion. Don't be wrong. I'm not saying that DSP supporters don't thumb down videos, because they do quite a bit. But it's a lot of the pushback is from people who don't know. I mean, they just don't know. They hear DSP and they're like, oh, he's shitty at games. And they don't know about everything else. They don't know about the fact that he sat there and threatened people, that he sits there and scams his fan base out of money, that he treats people like absolute garbage. Nobody knows about that. Or they do know about it and they just like certain detractors over others, which is whatever. That's fine. It's your choice. But then again, you're kind of wasting your time doing that too. If you like one detractor over another, then that's cool. I mean, like who you like. You know what I'm saying? But going over to another detractor's channel and starting shit does what? You know what I'm saying? Does what? And the funny thing is, did any of you guys do that before SOK? You know what I mean? Because, like, the landscape is different. I was talking to somebody on Twitter. We were direct messaging back and forth, and he was asking me what I thought about that. I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it or not, but the landscape is a bit different. I don't know if I wouldn't blame it on SOK, but it's certainly different. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd say there was more unity. Even if there were, it probably wasn't legitimate because everything kind of circled around that particular group. But, I mean, like I said, if you like one detractor over another, for example, then cool, like who you like. But to go ahead and shit on another detractor just doesn't make much sense. But whatever, it's a free country. It's a free country. Do as you will. Oh my god, just do as you will. So, it is what it is.
Look at the cheer sponsor video he did. The one on OP Seats. Like, do you think anyone would want to partner with that guy? He read a personal email. But okay, alright. That
was a good point, actually, too. But, it's actually funny how Phil keeps getting all these chances. Where whether he got the sponsored deal, the first one, the second one just seemed off. But you have the first one. Then you have, other streamers who want to try to co-stream with him and whatnot. It's amazing the chances Phil has, and he doesn't take them, or he doesn't understand what the circumstances are, so he refuses to reach out. He won't even ask questions because he's scared that people are going to think he's stupid. You're not stupid for asking a question. You're stupid for walking around thinking you know what's going on. You think you know what you're doing. That's what stupidity is. Not asking a question. If I went online and I asked Theo, or if I asked Argent, or if I asked Almighty Tevin, if I asked them a question about anything, I guess, really, does that make me stupid? No, if I didn't, if I knew, I wouldn't have asked them. But for me to go ahead and make a video and trying something different, and I completely botch it, and then one of them come into my comment section and be like, ugh, hey man, that was a good try. If you weren't sure about that, man, you could always ask, dude. There's no problems here. Then you're gonna feel stupid. But see, Phil has made it his career to do that. Either that, or he just has somebody do all the hard work for him, and then he just benefits from it. That's the disconnect.
He says, if you do read this, Phil, if you are not interested, that is fine. But I will still have my brother forward the information to you, so you can have it on file just in case. I hope this guy's trolling. If he's not, he's a pretty devoted slave. But okay. For Phil's other fans, if there is any information or other people you would like to see brought up on charges, feel free to message me. Uh-oh, guys. This guy's gonna come after all of us. Any additional information, please send emails to sambamanime@gmail.com. I kind of wanted to send him an email saying, dude, fucking chill. KG thinks DSB has a Gmail, which he doesn't, but okay.
Yeah, I think Phil always uses darksidephil@hotmail.com or some shit. I think he's used the same email for everything. I mean, it's obvious that Phil has sock accounts, but that's his like tried and true email. That's why he tries to direct everybody there. So. And
then Sam Bam said, "I know, but if my brother could help him make it a small amount of money, or even nothing, he may be interested. I will surely email him once we get information straight and fluid. I would like to know your brother's name. He's an attorney, so his information must be public, along with his case winning percentage, and his expertise in which form of law." This is like going into like a certain territory. Let's not go into the SOK territory, TBH. Let's see if...
Now, that's what I had mentioned earlier, because here's the thing. What this guy is trying to gather is basically public opinion. Sam Bam is trying to gather public opinion. And it's interesting how people on the forums try to turn it into something personal now. How they try to flip it into, oh, well, we need to see, I want to see credentials, basically. I want to see this, that, and the third. When Phil should be the one he should be the one that's making that choice. He should be the one that's doing that. He should be the one who's doing his research and finding out if this is real or if it isn't. Not these guys coming in and interrogating him. And then he wasn't even subtle about it. He was like, let me get your brother's name so I can go ahead and do it myself. You don't see nothing wrong with that? Like, you don't see something just a slight bit off about that? Like seriously, like, you know what I'm saying? He's really just trying to get public opinion. He's not going for nothing else. It's all public opinion for the most part. But for people on Phil's website to be like, well, we need names now. What did you want? You want a social security number to go with it? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You see how it escalates? And back in a little while ago, it wouldn't have happened that fast. It would have been something subtle. But now, you got guys on there that'll go straight to the point. And it's funny because they were just victimized not long ago because of the actions of someone that they used to look up to, Brightside Viking, and now look at how the fan base is. First off, there's only like 4 or 5 people, I think, that actually responded to this this particular thread. I'll actually try to have it on screen in a minute if it hasn't been deleted. If not, someone definitely has it archived. But look at what they've turned into after Blood for the Blood God situation. After them getting, after the doxing situation. Now look at how they react. They're scared of everything. They're even more paranoid now than they were before. Because they're all exposed for the most part. Even though the doxing has stopped, who knows how much information that these guys have out there. And you got to understand, though, too, that Sam Bam, behind the scenes, one of these guys, the administrators or whatever, can get his IP too. So he's just as exposed. Well, somewhat. He can take precautions, but The point being is, look at how his fan base is reacting now. The thread is even more scared. If Phil still had that Discord, it'd probably been worse. It's neither here nor there, though.
If it got deleted, because they've been deleting threads. Nick! Oh man, Nick boy, he's in here. The Pineapple Man is here. What does Pineapple have to say? The only people he should sue are the ones that swatted and doxed him. Taking someone to court for insulting him on the internet is fucking stupid. Holy shit, guys. Nick said something that I agree with. Holy shit, guys. You know what? I kind of slam fucking Nick, here and there, but I gotta say, Nick sometimes, on a blue moon, sometimes he says something that is just, that's actually reasonable, and when he does that, I like to stand back and be like, yeah, Nick, and that makes me happy. Sometimes Nick makes me happy, so you know what, I'll give you this one, Nick. Nick, you got the pineapple star. You got the pineapple star for this thread. Let's see if anyone else added to it. Phil is looking at this thread, I think, but he is in the forums because he's in the user list. Is there anything else that's being added to this? No. There is. I was kind of thinking of doing DSP and Nintendo, but that could be a video on its own or not. But I mean, that's just reiterating his Nintendo hate. I mean, obviously he hates Nintendo. Oh.
That's only because he can't profit off of it, though.
Phil recently browses in Mokoroka. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. It was a short one, but it was a fun one, guys. Did you like the Detractor bedroom? This is what I'm gonna be doing videos in probably in the future. So I hope you like it. I did a stream here once, by the way. I did a late night stream last night.
Alright, so let's go ahead and end it there. If you guys want to, just go to Theo's videos, and you can check it out. I'll have the link to this video in the description. What do we take from that? It's getting really silly, really fast over there. That's the first thing. Second thing is, it's funny how Phil, like I said, Phil offered the olive branch. He does his grimy shit behind the scenes. Now the fan base comes around, or at least a member of the fan base, allegedly, it could be just a troll, comes out and says he wants to take legal action on Phil's behalf. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network and Productions. Oh, one more thing about the Brightside Viking situation. So, apparently, with the leaks for the DMs, I'll go into that in another video, as I said I would, but apparently some people are looking at Brightside Viking as a bit of a hero because he co-signed that the DMs were legitimate, that were real. And I don't know, I'm surprised that he would do that because he's a DSP loyalist. He's a DSP extremist, if you would want to say, but whatever. We'll cover that in another video. It is what it is. This is your anchor / host GTG signing off, and the broadcast.
You're no good.
You're no good.
You're playing a 10-year-old game.
Everyone to the tank!
You think you're good. You're not, faggot.
I love that language. That language on stream. It's great.
Stand near the tank. Tank is falling back. No one's nearby to escort it. Running near the tank.
I should have had the other guy too.
Tank is retreating. It needs an escort.
Suck in Street Fighter. You quit DBZ because you suck.
Oh my god, it's an idiot. It's just that guy.
Quit the Secret of Mana because you suck. You suck in everything.
You suck. You
We
suck
all
at
know
DBZ.
it. You know it.
Yeah, that's why I quit, because I suck at DBZ. What an idiot.
DSP, you're the lamest streamer on Twitch, bro.
Yo, I'm the lamest streamer on Twitch, bro.
Stop begging randoms for fucking money for
What an
your
idiot.
taxes.
By the way, I'm best player on my team.
Get a job.
Best player on my team.